fake trophies that were made specifically for him is this guy going to get?
And that is going on the mantle right next to his re-gifted Nobel Peace Prize and the Olympic gold medal he didn't win, and the 3 tournament championships he won at his own golf club.
He's getting a participation trophy for something he didn't even participate in.
I can't figure out who should be more embarrassed, the guy who came up with the new award or the guy who proudly accepted the new award.
President Trump's fake awards becoming a punchline. This keeps happening. Speaker Mike Johnson just this week gave Trump a made-up award. This is amid the Iran crisis. The government's partially shut down, but that was apparently a priority, and without embarrassment, they did it in public. There has been a string of these made-up awards.
He is the suitable and fitting recipient of the first ever America First Award. We can think of no better title for what that is. That's this beautiful golden statue here.
To show our appreciation, the trophy says the undisputed champion of beautiful, clean coal. Thank you, sir.
Mr. President, this is your prize. This is your Peace Prize. There is also a beautiful medal.
A medal, a made-up Peace Prize. Some of this is frankly embarrassing. It's one thing if there was corruption and real annual awards were being diverted to Trump, which would, of course, weaken the value of those awards. But in many cases, as you just saw, that was the global soccer group, FIFA. They just made up a new award. So it has no value. It's literally whatever the physical value of the couple $100 to have the fake shiny award. It's also deeper than just entities currying favor like international soccer. A president who is this easily swayed by flattery and awards can be compromised in foreign policy and judgment. Consider that one of the opposition leaders in Venezuela, where the U.S. has complex interests about who it wants to work with, tried to basically use and exploit Trump's very transparent need for these awards, something our prior guest just mentioned, to do something that you cannot do, to sort of regift her Nobel Peace Prize. She may have had good reasons for that and her strategy, and you can have a whole other segment on the complexities in Venezuela. But the fact that the president publicly posed for this photo that the White House government account then posted tells you a lot about the weaknesses at the very top of the White House food chain. As mentioned, this is not just about style. Trump is abusing government power. He's using the Justice Department to go after opponents in many cases that are failing and flailing, but involve real misdirection of taxpayer dollars, subpoenas, and government energy to go after his enemies, which can be illegal, and thus not pursue the real cases that relate to national security and homeland defense and crime in the United States. For a perspective on this from a former prosecutor who knows all these issues very well, Ty Cobb also served as White House counsel, in the White House counsel's office, I should say, as White House attorney in the first Trump term. Welcome back, Mr. Cobb. Your view of those above issues, and as the No Kings rallies commence tomorrow, the union here of the style, the fake awards, the idea that you can regift a Nobel, and then the very serious abuse of power.
That's no small task, Ari. Thank you very much. Good to be with you. So I think if you look at Trump, these fake awards, it's no secret why he receives them. Everybody in the world, and certainly all American politicians, his cabinet, and those who want favor or a reward from him, know that his narcissism controls everything he does, that to appeal to him and put him in a mood to be generous with you, all you have to do is compliment him. And they do. I mean, they play him like it's a puppet. I mean, look at how successful Putin is. You know, Putin, who couldn't sell, other than limited barrels of oil a day for a maximum of $75 a barrel, and just a few weeks ago, is now selling, as many barrels as they can produce at $154 a barrel. That's pretty impressive. Same with Iran. I mean, we're bombing bombing the hell out of Iran, but they're making money on it now because Trump, because of the abject humility that he's suffering for having started this war without a purpose and having no idea what the exit ramp is, has to pay these guys to try to ease his humility with the hope that they'll get him out of it. but they're not getting what we know is Russia is building a new generation of drones that they're about to ship to Iran, and they're selling intel that's going to be used to attack and potentially kill our people. It's pure insanity. But the way to get Trump to do anything you want is to play to his ego.
Right. It seems like a real leadership weakness. If you were picking someone to run even a company, a CEO, or be CIA director, where we hear that they have to really be disciplined because they have important work to do and they can't just be easily, as you said, played or compromised. I want to show you President Trump talking to Stephen Miller and FBI Director Patel. And as with so many of these things, there's the vague cover of joking for habits that seem all too real. Take a look.
What President Trump has done on border security and public safety is a national miracle that will be studied not only for generations, but for centuries to come. Thank you, President Trump.
So, Cash, see if you can top that. I don't know.
Mr. President, thanks for delivering America the safest country on God's green earth.
Pretty good. You did pretty good.
Ty, what do you see there? And is this governing?
No, it's competitive sucking up. That's not governing. And, for Kash Patel to, thank the president for the safest country, we have never been as vulnerable internationally or nationally as we are tonight. And it's been in a steady decline ever since they began the kakistocracy that is the governance of the inept. At the FBI is a perfect example. What has Kash Patel done at the FBI? He's fired almost everybody with experience. There is no counterterrorism unit anymore. He fired the Iranian intelligence people a week before the war started. And those that used to do counterterrorism or used to do violent crimes, they're now all doing immigration work. And they've abandoned the college education requirement for agents. Do you think any of that makes us safer? No, it makes us more vulnerable. And then internationally, you got rid of the experienced JAG officers who could explain what the legal limits of were to prevent war crimes. You've gotten rid of inspector generals throughout the government who were intended to keep agencies and their people within bounds and acting lawfully. We don't have that anymore. The people that have replaced the inspector generals who've been fired are not independent people. They're all Trump loyalists. I mean, you're going to wake up someday and figure out that now that Trump has started the functional equivalent of a civil war, he's going to consider himself Lincoln and think he should replace him on Mount Rushmore. And Mike Johnson may think that's a good idea.
They'll never get another president like Donald Trump. Never. And that's why it's important that we do everything that we can to try to get him reelected.
That's not from 4 years ago. That's Franklin Graham talking at CPAC this week, apparently forgetting that there is no more reelection campaign for President Trump because we have a Constitution. Ty Cobb, White House veteran, is back with us. That was just a flavor of CPAC. Of course, people can do politics all they want, and they have a First Amendment right to say all kinds of stuff, Ty. The Deputy Attorney General is a different matter. In the past, as you know, FBI and DOJ leadership would carefully avoid even being at hyper-partisan events. But here was Todd Blanche, the deputy. Take a look.
Why is there objection to sending ICE officers to polling places? Illegals can't vote. It doesn't make any sense. We see our most activist judges that we lose to every single day.
Alvin Bragg, Fani Willis, this cast of characters, ever get any justice?
Well, yes.
Ty, your thoughts?
So Todd Blanche was somebody I think that the prosecutorial community writ large had some hope for, given his experience in the Southern District. All that's gone. I mean, he's proved himself to be, Pam Bondi's pet bulldog because he, unlike she, had some federal trial experience. He's maneuvered forward, first extorting Ghislaine Maxwell for a favorable comment on President Trump and then rewarding her with a prison confinement that she's not entitled to at a minimum security prison. He bragged today about firing all the people that ever had anything to do with any Trump prosecution within the Justice Department and the FBI. And he attacked Bob Mueller today to pile on what was probably the most indecent statement ever in the history of our republic that a president has ever made publicly, when he said good, he was glad Bob Mueller, a decorated war hero and former FBI leader, was dead. Todd Blanche has lost all credibility. Why shouldn't ICE be at the polls? Because they have no jurisdiction. And the law prevents federal officers from going to the polls, and it also prevents intimidation at the polls. Those are the only two illegal purposes for which they could be there. And if they're there, they're in violation of the law. These are simple questions.
And he knows
but
that,
it
right?
is part of what
he knows that.
He knows that, and it's part of what we've seen. First of all, when Bannon said, don't make any mistake, we're going to flood the polls. Trump said we need to be in 15 jurisdictions. Tom Homan the other day asked the same question that Blanche said, and it was all transparently for the purpose of trying to sensitize Americans to the likelihood that they will be at the polls. That is the plan. This has always been about the elections. The dry run in Minnesota with ICE, taking over, being menacing, scaring people, shooting them 10 times in the back. That's ICE. That's Trump's secret police force. They're overfunded at a level that unprecedented for a law enforcement agency, more than the Army. And they are accountable to no one, and he's using them for purposes for which they have no statutory authority, like being at the airports.